your team. So the thing is with KW, when we talk about culture comes from all of us. It's not just us. Culture comes from the agents, and we support the agents and we grow the culture. So us as the team here, we're going to talk about how we can be a magnet to pull the agents back into the offices. Because what has happened, somewhere reason we had something happen a couple years ago, and people are still living that world, right? So the cool thing is we are pivoting to get people in the office, and we're going to be pivoting. Yes, YouTube is out there. We'll be putting all of this on the YouTube channel so people can see it. And there's Zoom, because there is people who have the dual careers, and this will allow them to participate and be able to work at the same time. Okay, so we're lucky today to have Lesley. Lesley, thank you so much for joining us. Marketing to a Million. I like this. This is going to be great. So I appreciate you coming to Fair Oaks, Sac Metro, everywhere in Sacramento, right? And I can't hear you though.
She's muted.
Okay, so you're muted.
Hi, good morning. Or it is morning there, right?
It is. It is. Well, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's before noon. So yes, it is. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Lesley.
Absolutely. So I have been in the real estate business for 17 years.
Yes.
I thankfully joined Keller Williams when I first got started in the end of 2005. I was rookie of the year, my first year in the business in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I ended up bringing my husband into the business in 2008, which seemed like a great time for him to get into the real estate business when the market was crashing. And it was the best decision ever, actually. So in 2010, we started building a real estate team. We hit millionaire real estate agent status in 2013. And then in 2018, we netted $1 million with our real estate team. But in the meantime of all that, Keller Williams, as we know, is just filled with so many opportunities. And you know what? You don't end up selling real estate, or you don't have to for your entire career. There's so many paths if that's, something you want to explore. And so in 2016, my husband became operating partner of 3 Keller Williams offices in Metro Atlanta. And then we actually just took over Keller Williams Savannah and merged that into the mix. So we have about 2,000 agents between Atlanta and Savannah that we have the pleasure of working with every day. And then we still run our real estate team. So we also teach across the country. So I'm excited to be with you guys for a few minutes today.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'll let you go ahead and start. I think this is exciting because you actually show growth, right? You started out an agent in 2009, was it? Is that what you said?
2005, actually.
2005, okay. And now you own market centers. So
we do. So we have 4 market centers. And in addition to the 4 market centers, we are investors of a market center in my hometown in South Alabama. So kind of fun.
Wow. That's beautiful.
So we are so glad we did. It was an amazing decision. You guys, I was prepared to speak at like 2:20 for you all. So I apologize. I may have read the email wrong. So let me just get my PDF up. Can you guys see my screen?
We gave you share screen ability, so go ahead and click on share screen.
It says this will stop screen sharing. Do you want to continue? Okay, just want to make sure. Awesome. So now, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, hold on.
Let's see if I can put it in. You guys, I'm struggling with my sharing mode.
We have you ready to go.
Awesome. Okay, you guys, okay, there we go. I hate that you're seeing this view of it, but this will do, I guess. So thank you guys for having me today. One of the things that we have really built our business on since I got into the business is the lead generation model. And so I love to talk about MREA and take you guys back to when you first got the book. Remember, I'm sure your team leader gave it to you and you started reading it and you didn't think it made sense at that time in your career. So you put it on a shelf and potentially have not pulled it out since. And so for us, building our business, the book, the Red Book, has been crucial to our success. And every single January, we read it again and again, and it hits us differently. So, with MREA today, I want to really dig into the lead generation model for you guys because that is truly the 33 touch plan, is what we built our net $1 million real estate team on. And we are still to this day 80% repeat and referral business. And we don't just do a 33 touch now because, as Gary has told us, research has changed as he's written the new book. And so it's become a 33 to a 36 touch. So we have adopted that, and we actually teach a full 3-hour course across the country called the 36 Touch Workshop. So I just wanted to pick a few things in that today to kind of give you guys some ideas to touch your database 36 times a year. And for most people, 36 times a year seems like overkill. Well, it's not. And research has shown it's not. So we're going to make it super easy for you guys today to adopt a 36 touch plan. And I want to start with this because I love when Gary and Jay talk about the national statistics at Mega Camp and Family Reunion every year. Anybody else a nerd like me? I just completely nerd out on this stuff. And what we know from the most recent National Association of Realtors study is that 90% of your buyers and sellers say they would use you again, and only 12% do. 12%. That is horrendous for our industry. They're happy with you, right? When you do a great job in the transaction. So why do only 12% come back? Why?
Because we don't follow up with people.
Because we don't follow up. And guys, it's so terrible, but they actually forget our name. So if we go 10 years on average across the country with buyers, take 10 years before they buy again, if we don't keep in touch with them in that 10-year span, they've forgotten our name. And how sad for us, we don't ever want to be one and done agents, right? We want to be agents that continue to build and grow our database, because honestly, it is so much easier to cultivate and work with people that know you, like you, and trust you than work with new leads that take a lot of time to build that trust, right? So how do we stay in touch with our database 36 times a year or more? I said earlier that you guys think it may be overkill, and I will actually tell you that I think our team is up to about 50 plus touches per year now, and it's all about adding value to people's lives. So I have pulled up what is our 36 touch overview. You guys are welcome to R&D it. Do you guys know what R&D means? Not research and development. What is it?
Rip and duplicate.
Rip off and duplicate. You guys can totally rip off and duplicate our 36 touch. And this is kind of the strategy that we've used to build this program. So mailers started as being the foundation of our business. And that seems strange, right? To start with mail as the foundation. Don't you just get a postcard and chunk it in the mail? Right? Well, early on, when I got into the business, when I was a rookie the year, I was actually a dual career agent. I was a full-time teacher. And I remember my team leader at the time was so amazing. He said, you know what? You're a teacher. You probably don't have a lot of money, right? That's why you're getting into real estate. Yes, you're right. And he said, and you don't have a lot of time to do a 33 touch like the Red Book says. However, could you send one really creative mailer every single month to your database? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, just send something that other people aren't sending. Just be creative, right? And so I thought, oh, this is right up my teacher alley. So what could I send in an envelope that would cost no more money? And I can be creative and condition people to open our mail, or my mail at the time. So my husband and I would have hot date nights of literally thinking of what could go in an envelope that would cost very little and not more than one stamp. And so we came up with so many amazing ideas the first year. So the first year in the business, I was sending Kool-Aid packets. Do you guys remember those when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Your parents used to let you eat sugar and colored sugar. I don't think that really happens anymore, but Kool-Aid packets are super cheap. They're 25 cents. And so I at the time, I keep saying we because I am in such a team aspect now. But at the time, I sent Kool-Aid packets, and those Kool-Aid packets came along with keep your cool, age your bill. And it was actually, I just admitted someone from the waiting room. I hope that's okay with you guys. I know. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So it's a keep your cool, age your bill, and it was tips to save energy in the summer. So the Kool-Aid packets made waves, and the kids loved them, and parents were sending us funny messages that their kids had never even had Kool-Aid. So a really fun way to condition people to open your mail. We were sending lottery tickets, a piece of big red gum, right? So over time of just sending one mailer a month, people thought, wow, this is creative, this is different. And I became rookie of the year my first year in the business. So that's why I always say mail was the original foundation, because I only sent 12 mailers a year, and that's about all I did in the beginning. And over time, we've built this 36 touch plan. And if you were an individual agent, you guys can do this too. It really just takes you sitting down at the beginning of the year or right now and planning out the next 12 months. So when you get busy in the business servicing clients, you don't forget your marketing plan. So let's talk about the mailers. We kind of break it down into quarters. Every quarter, we want to send an item of value. So what is an item of value? An item of value may be a Kool-Aid packet. It might be a lottery ticket. It might be an eyeglass cloth with your brand on it that people keep in their purse to clean their sunglasses in sunny California, right? So what is an item of value that you can send that fits into an envelope that makes people open your mail and just keeps it fun? So we're always brainstorming this on the team. We're actually sending jar openers. You guys know the grippers to open, that jar of pickles yeah. So we're sending those this month, and we're saying, get a grip on the real estate market with us, right? So what can fit into an envelope where you condition people to open your mail? So we send that once a quarter, and that's going to be a little bit more expensive than our normal mailers. The other things we're sending is one event invitation. Where mail used to be the backbone of our business, now events are actually the backbone of our business. So we want that face-to-face, belly-to-belly time with people. So we have a whole marketing strategy to get people to attend our events. And we send out actually a cute invitation that they can keep on their cork board or on their refrigerator for a month before the event. You guys will see this right here. This is actually a save the date that we sent out for a brewery event that we had back in April. We had 300 people. We rented out an entire brewery, had food trucks. It was tons of fun. And that event invitation actually went out about a month prior to the event. Some of you may be thinking, wow, why would you actually send a printed invitation? Isn't Evite, hasn't that changed? Not for us. So for us, we want to be different, actually. We really do want to be different. And then we want to send things that have shelf life. I call them mailers that have legs. So they outlast just a piece of mail. So instead of pulling out that postcard and tossing it straight in the trash can, we want to send a cute event invitation that lives on your corkboard or your refrigerator. So we send one of those per quarter to coincide with our events. And then the last mailer every single quarter, we send a market statistic postcard because Gary Keller tells us to be the economist of choice for your database. Guys, the national news gives us a national perspective on real estate that is not helpful in our local communities. In fact, I was laughing this week. I was teaching yesterday at one of our market centers, and I said, We have Atlanta and Savannah, and they are operating so differently, right? It's not 70s and sunny across the US today. And our people want to know what's happening in their backyard. So every quarter, we send a postcard that makes sense of the real estate market for them, not just boring statistics in a silo. We actually tell stories about what we think is happening or what we believe and see is happening in the real estate market. We want to be the economists of choice, and we want them to come to us for all that information. So that kind of sums up our mailer plan, and we just repeat that same plan every single quarter. Guys, it works because in 2010, when the markets crashed and we're in the pit of the market, no other real estate agents were sending mailers because they couldn't afford them. Well, thankfully, we had saved our money and we were continuing to send creative mailers. And when you do that, you're diversifying your marketing plan, because we know that a lot of people are going to unsubscribe from email, right? Well, if you have their address and you're sending them mailers, you're still hitting them in some form or fashion. So we really try to diversify our campaign, so we're hitting all personality types and all types of people. Moving on from our 12 mailers a year, we actually send 12 email newsletters a year. We're using MailChimp. There's a template that we've created that makes it super easy, but our newsletters aren't like everyone else's. And we don't necessarily hit the easy button. We actually spend a lot of time crafting our newsletters. We give a 1-minute update on the market via video every single month. We actually send the invitation. So we always have an event going on. So we're either inviting them to a home buyer workshop or a reverse bold or an Atlanta Braves game that's coming up soon. So the email newsletter is actually value add to them. It's educating them on the market, but it's also offering them something fun. And so we spend a lot of time on our email newsletter. We also send an agent newsletter every month and give agents across the country tips on what we're doing in our marketing plan that may be helpful to them. And I'll give you guys a sign up at the end for that. So our email newsletters, we're tracking click rates and open rates, and we're really about triple the industry standard. And so that's been highly successful for us. And we're watching the unsubscribe list because we want to bring value so people don't unsubscribe. So the 12 mailers and the 12 email newsletters actually get you to 24, right? So
Yeah.
what else? What comes up to 36 touches? So for us, it's the events. So our face-to-face, belly-to-belly events are amazing. I call 4 of them our legacy events, because what we want to do is we want to create so much value that they come back year after year. They bring their grandchildren, or they bring their children, or they bring their parents to our events. So our legacy events, we actually have 4. I'll kind of tell you what ours are, and then I'll save questions for the end too, because I know a lot of times people have questions about events, like who do you invite? We actually invite our entire Met database. We invite everyone we know. I think a lot of agents don't do that because they're scared of how many people will show up. Well, what we know is typically 10% of whoever we invite, or 10% of our list that we invite shows up. So we invited 3,000 people to our brewery event back in April, and about 300 came. So for us, we want to hit as many people as possible. And even a no, that's okay, because we've had the ability to reach out to them and add value. Why events? Because it's fun and it's actually easy. A lot of real estate agents don't pick up the phone to lead generate because they don't know what to say. Am I right?
Yep.
And so we bulletproof lead generation because our agents always have something to call about. They're either inviting to a brewery event, or the Braves game, or our pumpkin patch, or our drive-in movie, or our homebuyer workshop, or to call in for our reverse bold. There's always an event to invite them to. So our events too, people a lot of times say, oh, you can do that because you're a big team. You have unlimited resources in terms of budget. That's not true. And our events are actually fully funded by our vendor partners. So we pay, that's right, $0 for our events every single year. If you're an individual agent and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot start with 4 or 5 events a year, it's okay. Start small. Start off with 2 events. Our first event, it was just my husband and I, and we did a wine and cheese night for our friends. And so we started really small and it was in our home. And then over the years, this has just grown and grown. So events are a huge part of it. We had a brewery event in April because we want to reach the adults, right? We don't want all, we know not all, everyone in our database has 2 kids and 1.5 dogs, right? So we want to make sure we're diversifying our event. So the brewery event is great for adults of all ages. Then we have a Braves game that can be for anyone or for families. And so we buy out 400 tickets in 2 sections at the Atlanta Braves Stadium, and we invite our friends, our raving fans, our clients to come to that event. We have a tailgate set up before where they get their tickets, and then we all sit together and cheer on our Atlanta Braves. And then we have a pumpkin patch in the fall that is really family, obviously friendly. And we have a lot of young children or even grandchildren coming with their grandparents to a local pumpkin patch in Atlanta that's about an hour outside of Atlanta. And you guys wouldn't believe it, but 200 people plus actually show up every single year, even if they have to drive. And so that's a really fun event. And then we end the year with a drive-in movie, and we do a holiday movie in December. And last year, I think it was Home Alone, and we said, don't buy a Home Alone, call the Peters Company. So we're always trying to add value to our client's life and make it easy for our agents to lead generate, because it's like an ATM machine, right? If you go to the ATM all the time and all you do is withdraw money, what's going to happen?
No money and sometimes.
The money's going to run out, right? The money is going to run out. So for us, we don't want to just call our raving fans and clients all the time and say, who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Because they're going to stop picking up the phone because we're not adding value to their life. So our number one responsibility is to add value to their life, and then it'll come back to us in return. So around our events, we have an email invitation that goes out. In addition to the printed invitation, we call everyone and invite them to events. We text them. So we easily get up to 36 touches a year every single year. We have actually added in reverse bolds every quarter. I don't know if you guys know what a reverse bold is. You probably do, but it's basically where you offer a giveaway and you have people call in between a certain time, and then you give away something awesome. So we did a Mother's Day giveaway last Friday. We had 113 people call in to win a $500 spa day at a local Atlanta spa. So that was a lot of fun, and collect information right from your database. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to do it again this fall. We're doing home buyer workshops. We're doing investor workshops. We're doing a mortgage hack workshop this year. So just pouring into our database as much as we possibly can. I love Zoom and I hate Zoom at the same time. So I feel like I am talking a lot and I can't read the room for your reactions. So I'm going to take a break before I move into the next slide to show you how we round out our 36 touch program with a personal touch and staying in relationships. So do you guys have questions right now? You guys have any questions?
Hey there. So basically, they're just all taking this all in, but this is amazing. What is your favorite part of your 36 touch that you have been doing? What is the one thing that you see that people comment on?
It's the events. It is absolutely the events. And they just provide just so much fun. Like I love seeing the clients in person, meeting their families if it's a family event, just getting to interact with them, because that's where the relationship happens, right? Like that's where we actually get to build the relationship. So I love that. I will tell you at the end of every single event, I am always a little, not anxious. I'm a little overwhelmed actually because I always feel guilty that I don't get to spend more time with the people there
Right,
because we
because
have
there's a lot of
so
people.
many
Yeah,
clients.
yeah.
My
But it's
goal
nice though,
though,
that you're
yeah, in my
coming from abundance and you're giving back. So I see that as value, right? And they see that as value because you're doing something for them and for their family. You're offering them something. So what was your favorite event that you did? Did you already say that and I just didn't hear that?
you know what? It has ebbed and flowed over the years, honestly. I would say the pumpkin patch was the first event the first big event we ever did, and we started it in our yard. We had 100 pumpkins, we had a bouncy house, cotton candy machine, popcorn machine, and I loved that because it was nostalgic, and it was the first one we actually ever did. I think this year we'll be on pumpkin patch number 14. So I always look forward to that one. You get to see the families. We have grandchildren now coming, which is
Right.
just a lot of fun. But we gave up one of my favorite events, and it was called it was around the Kentucky Derby. So
Oh,
we
how
always had a
fun.
Kentucky Derby party, and we raised about $2,000 for charity every single year, and we had it at our house in Atlanta. And you basically bet on horses, and at the end of the night, we gave away a 3-night stay at a condo on the beach that we have. And then
Wow.
all the money raised went to charity. So that was just a really fun event. Honestly, the only reason we dropped that event is our family actually moved to Savannah past summer, to take over Keller Williams Savannah and merge it into our Atlanta offices. So we don't have a house in Atlanta right now, although we will have a crash pad soon. So we could not do that event this year, and I really missed it, but it's a really fun one.
Oh, I bet, I bet. You guys, do you have any questions? Hi, Jesse, this is what you should be doing with your team is do an event like this. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I was curious, do you keep metrics as to how many conversions you get from your events and from all of the efforts that you do?
You know what? It's so funny. So I get asked that question a lot, and it's honestly kind of hard to keep conversions on the actual one event. And I'll explain that. Think of this 36 touch as like a cocktail approach, right? So it's not just like it's a glass of wine, a one and done. It's actually a lot of different things that make up the 36 touch. So when we get a referral that comes in, a lot of times I'm not sure if it came in from the mailer. I'm not sure if it came in because they read the email newsletter or they attended our most recent event. I think of it coming from like a cocktail of the whole plan. And I think that's why this plan works so well, is because it truly is a cocktail approach and you're hitting people from different angles. We do a giveaway at every single one of our events, and we collect information and we ask people questions that they fill out. And then at the end of the event, we give away something fun. One of the questions I love to ask that's just it's good to update our records is, when's the last time you thought about moving? And so that's a question that they fill out on the little sheet. And then the second question we ask is, are any of your friends interested in buying or selling? That we could help, right? And so we do collect some data, but what I find is typically we don't get referrals right there that day at the event. They usually come a couple weeks after the event. So the event is like a launch pad for people to start thinking about it. And what I mean by that, let's say they attend our Braves game, right? So they're at the office the day of our Braves game, or the weekend after our Braves game, or the Monday after our weekend Braves game. And they're telling their coworkers, oh, I went to the Braves game this weekend, right? And this is so cool. Actually, it was my real estate agent who invited me to the Braves game. Oh, tell me more about your real estate agents. I'm actually thinking about selling. And then it's like the trickle effect. We do ask a question that I think is really good. We don't ask it at the Braves game because we don't really have a platform for it. But like at the brewery event, we always speak at the end of the event when we do the giveaway. And we have a mic because we have live music there. And so it's really easy to say, thank you so much for supporting our business. Thank you for coming today. What we know is that everyone knows 7 people that will buy or sell a home this year. And while we would love for you to remember us for all 7, could you just remember us for 1? And so
Wow.
that tends to really set the tone. And we say this at the event. We say, we're not the real estate team with our heads plastered on the grocery cart and on the billboards, because our goal is to build stronger relationships with you. And we do that through events and through adding value to your life. So you're not going to see our names plastered on billboards. And what we would really love is for you to remember us for your referrals.
Nice. Very, very nice.
I like that you asked the secondary question of, do you have any, anyone who by yourself?
Yeah.
Oftentimes agents, we don't ask the question. We don't ask for the business. We should.
It's so true. For years and years, I always said that we left out the call to action on our postcard or our email or at our events. Like, we just assumed if we sent pretty marketing pieces and emailed a great newsletter that people would just come. And the reality is that they don't. We have to ask. And I feel like that question, who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, is so broad that people have a hard time really thinking of, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's going to buy, sell, or invest. Like, it's just overly broad. So what we've really tried to do over the years is really filter our questions, right? So the referral question, everyone knows 7 people who are going to buy or sell real estate this year. Just give us one name, right? Or the other question is, who do you know that is an empty nester that may be looking to downsize? And then follow it up with a downsizing seminar. Or who do you know that's currently renting and looking to buy their first home? Follow it up with a home buyer workshop. Or who do you know that is looking to invest in real estate? Follow it up with an investor seminar. So when we really pigeonhole our calls to action, we get a better response.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. You've got the platform back.
Okie doke. Awesome. Okay. So for me, we could leave it here, right? And I mean, you're almost at 36 touches, but the reason I got into this business is honestly because I love people and I love building relationships. And I find that a lot of agents are that way. And so I don't want to, yes.
Excuse me just for a moment. We do have one more
I have one question. Can you tell me a little bit about how you structured your pumpkin patch event?
Oh, how we started it?
Or like, how is it structured? Does everyone come?
Oh, how's it structured now or in the beginning? So now we
Now.
actually go. So now we have a pumpkin patch that we actually partner with. And so
Okay.
we bring our we buy tickets to admission. It's really fun. They have, I mean, pig
But in the beginning,
races.
when you hosted it, how was that? When you hosted it yourself at your home?
Oh, when I hosted it ourselves at home, we ordered 100 pumpkins and we set them out in our front yard. We had a bouncy house, we had a popcorn machine, we had a cotton candy machine. And honestly, people just dropped by, their kids jumped in a bouncy house, they picked a pumpkin. We had a photographer on our front porch taking family photos. We had a face painter always. And it was a super fun event. What happened is it grew so quickly and we had so many people that our neighbors started hating us because we blocked the street. So we had to move it to a pumpkin patch to be able to accommodate everyone. But it was a really fun, easy event in your front. I mean, you can set it up in your front yard.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So we were talking about the reason a lot of us got into this business is just to build relationships, right? And so this 36 touch plan pretty much goes to everyone, right? There's no differentiation. It just is the same plan for everyone in the database. So this personal touch has been really critical, I think, to our success, and it's truly just caring about people. So a personal touch for us at 1 year. So 1 year from the time they buy their house, we actually send them a lottery ticket. You can see this is the little mailer we send them, and it says, "We won the lottery when you became our client." And so we send that on their 1 year anniversary. And then from years 2 to however long they stay in the house, we actually send a quick comparable market analysis. So just think about a quick CMA, a 1-pager. We actually print it out for everyone that closes. We write a little note on it and say, happy 2-year or happy 7-year home anniversary. Thought you might be interested in what's going on in your market and in your local neighborhood. And then we follow up a week later with calls. And so what we find is that from those anniversary CMAs is a lot of people don't know how much their homes are actually worth, right? The Zestimate's wrong. Zillow can't get it right all the time, right? So we call and follow up, and we think of it as kind of like a financial planner. Wouldn't you feel weird if your financial planner never sent you a statement of how your money's performing? You'd actually be kind of like, why am I even paying this person? Like, I don't even know how my money is performing. Well, we feel the same as a real estate agent. It's our job to keep our clients biggest investment, right? We want to share with them what the market's doing and what their home is worth. We don't actually price it, but we just give them a quick CMA. And what we find about 10% of the time is it does lead to a listing appointment for us. So for every 10 we send, we schedule about 1 appointment. That's a really cool personal touch that goes out every year. We also send referral gifts. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. We have to be careful with RESPA. Our mission at the Peters Company is that we create massive opportunities for others through real estate. And a door knocker, which you guys see at the bottom of this presentation, opens doors of opportunity. So we have socks made with door knockers on them. So when we get a referral, the first time in a calendar year, we send a cool pair of socks with a door knocker on them and the Atlanta skyline. And we say, your referrals knock our socks off. Thank you so much for referring Bob and Susie. We look forward to taking great care of them. And then for this, it's a lot of fun. And we actually send them to agents too across the country. So we love it at family reunion or mega camp. It's so funny. Agents will say, hey, did you see my socks? I wore them just for you today. So those have been really cool, and they're high quality socks. The second in a calendar year referral we receive, we actually run a bottle of wine or gin or whatever they like to their house. We try to do it the same day that we get the referral. So that's the second in a calendar year. And then the third is we take them to dinner at a really nice restaurant. So our referral business is really high, and so we're intentional about our referral plan. No one knows, by the way, that that's our plan. It's just our internal plan. We don't tell people. And on number 1, do you get socks, and do you get one? It's just a surprise and delight. We stay really close to our clients, so we follow them on social media. When they have a baby, we send a baby gift. When they get married, we send a wedding gift. When they lose a family member, we send a memorial. We look up the obituary and we send a memorial to whatever is important to them. So we just really try to stay in tune with our clients and serving them where they are. Gary Keller said something years ago. He said, stop marketing and start serving. And there is nothing truer to that statement. Stop marketing and start serving. I've shown you guys this amazing marketing plan today that works, but it works best when you get a relationship with people in your database. And that's truly through a personal touch and just reaching out and building a relationship. So that is the summary of what I brought to you guys today. You can ask me more questions if you like. I will leave this screen up last. This is actually wrong, and I could not figure out how to edit this after I sent it. I was trying to delete it and everything. But you can join our Facebook 36 Touch page if you have referrals or you just have questions, guys. You can email wecare@thepeterscompany.com, and I would be delighted to help you. That goes to me as well. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, don't visit this link. I'm so sorry. It's broken. Email me. We are going through a massive merger with our real estate team in Atlanta. We just merged with 2 other mega teams, and we're so excited about it. So I just had not updated this page yet, but if you email me, I will add you to our newsletter. And we'll get you on our Facebook group. We have agents across the country sharing their ideas. So, okay, was this helpful? Any ahas, anything that you're going to go back and implement in your business?
What are you guys gonna do? What's the first thing?
Like the lottery.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that. Oh,
Yeah. It is good. Yeah.
They're easy.
I think it's interesting to see, because like, your 36 touch is a little different, so I think it's interesting to see the different types of 36 touch plans that people use. Because I think everybody's very individual, so I like a text here and there, so maybe I would add a text, you know, at some point of that and kind of combine them, so I like this is neat.
Awesome. And you know, sometimes when we have the phone call here, phone call around events, I always tell people, I'm like, know your audience, know your database. I'm not going to call my friend that has 3 small children and works full time. I'm going to text her, right? So it's very individualized for the person that you're calling or texting.
That's great. Thank you so much. Anybody else have any questions before we conclude? No? Well, Lesley, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me today. And I know is it sunny in California?
Yes,
It is.
yes. It was over.
It's
a 90
rainy.
degree yesterday.
It's rainy in coastal Georgia today. So I wish I was with you guys. Well, thank
Yeah,
you guys for
right.
having me.
Awesome. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
So you guys, we wanted to share a couple different things. Did you enjoy this? Wonderful. So we have a couple more that's coming down the pipe. We have, which you probably already gone to this class, but it's the Google class that's gonna be here probably in the next 3 weeks. And we did it over in Stockton and in Tracy. And if you Google Michelle Zaragoza, you can actually see like our video, or even like, so basically it's like my telephone number, right? And there's a video, and then I'm like, that was pretty darn cool. Now I don't know why, right? But that's cool too, right? So that's coming, and then we are starting First Thursday here. Remember that? Jesse, I'm gonna have you explain what we did over there and how it just started, and then it just
Let me go
exploded.
down the memory.
Yeah. This is Jesse, you guys.
I've been years ago.
Yeah.
It just kind of grew, it had a life of its own. I think at the time, there wasn't a lot of offices doing that,
Right.
so the lenders.
We were
started
the
showing
first,
all the
yeah.
things. And then that's, I think it really grew the name in the area, because people said, wow, they felt the vibe, Keller Williams, as they came into the office. A lot
Right.
of the small local agents, you know, that was their first time experiencing it.
So
Right.
what is First Thursday? Is it
So
just
First
like-
Thursday, it's gonna be us.
Okay.
You're going to post on your social network, right? And we're gonna invite affiliates, like I've already invited the title company downstairs. I actually saw them in the elevator. And I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing moving forward. Every first Thursday, 4 to 6. It's networking with each other, because like I have never even met you. I'm Michelle Zaragoza. Susan, nice to meet you. But if I was selling, I'm making a relationship with her, because she's gonna want to know what I'm all about. And if she's gonna be a buyer agent, I want to know what she's all about. So I want to know if we're gonna be able to work with each other, right? So we've always done this over in the valley, and it's all about networking and knowing each other and being in communication, and also learning from the title companies too, and learning from the different vendors that we're gonna be able to invite, right? And obviously with Jesse has one thing he needs to bring in, and it's, what's the one thing you always brought?
Oh, cookies.
Yes, it's his mother's cookies. I love his mother's cookies, right? So yeah, they're amazing. So yes. And so, so you could bring something, you know, I like wine, I always bring a bottle of wine. If you don't drink wine or any alcohol, that's okay too, right? I mean, just your favorite, whatever, for a couple of hours, we're sitting here
Basically, it
talking.
was an open house.
It's an open house.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, but it
And
grows.
it really did, you know, grow the brand, the name.
Yes, because we were Keller who, to be very honest, Zach, you know, they were very close closing their doors. Very close. And now there's 5 offices over there. So it's Stockton, Lodi, Tracy, Manteca, Modesto.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it grew from stocks.
Wow.
That was big.
PMZ,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of the grouping, there's a lot of big local companies and Keller Williams, like, who are they?
Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Mhm.
And so, with Lodi, when we opened up Lodi, they were like, there's no way you guys are gonna make it. in Lodi. And I was like, that's all I needed, right? And so we took the top 3 agents in each from Remax. We have Ashley Friedel. And she's now #1 in Lodi. She was #1 in the county, but you know, whatever, she had a baby, whatever. And then we took Selena, Sarah, Susie Dunning. And then we went to another office, Century 21, that was Jennifer Wise. And so you guys, I wish I could wallpaper my office with this metrics. It's a perfect J curve. It was like Keller who to here, and they're still #1 in market share and in market share and in agent count. So yeah, very, very exciting. So this is what we're all going to do here together. And that's how we did it over there together. And the culture, again, is you guys. So the more people we bring in, the more culture we share, it's us. And it's a magnet. It becomes a magnet. I promise you that. So you guys all on board? First Thursday? What? Do you have a question?
I would say I'm excited. I mean, I've been in this office for almost 3 months and I don't know most people because I
Yeah.
haven't seen them. So
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
Well, and so bring people in too, right? So yeah, so the cool thing is, that's okay too, right? So I know sometimes when I would walk into an office, they're like, "What's here, Michelle?" I'm like, cool, that means they're getting listings. Cool, that means they're showing houses. So we've got to be okay with that too. That means they're doing business. You know, yeah, and hopefully, right? However, I believe, I don't know, John, are you watching this video? Because I believe Fair Oaks won last month.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think we're.
I don't want to say it on.
Oh, yeah, I'm recording. I want this out there.
We smoked.
Yeah. Wait, what?
And I want to
Yeah.
do it every single month.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
really competitive.
I may be
want to be.
a little. So this is all gonna happen with you, right? And we gotta know what makes you tick. What do you guys need? Yes, you've gone through a couple CLs, right? But you haven't seen us, okay? And you haven't seen John with us in the mix. It's gonna be a game changer. So hold on tight. It's gonna be fun. So thank you for showing up for the team meeting, and I appreciate you coming and being a part of our culture.
I
Thank you, Sal.
want to take a moment
Yeah.
to thank Victor.
Yes, Victor,
For the
thank you for the
goodness
cookies.
today. Appreciate it. Morrison Inspections.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bowl of fruit next time you bring it in. I'm joking.
I'm okay with just goodies.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys putting this together. We, and I'm really sorry that we didn't use all the slide presentations, but this was a great class and we didn't want to break through that. So, yeah, so if you could email one of us, tell us what you need. If there's a special class that you need, let us know and we'll make sure it happens. All
Yeah,
right.
we definitely want to bring some classes on scripts, lead generation,
Right,
stuff that affects business.
right. We'll do that. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.